Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And this is a very special episode, isn't it, Jack?
It is indeed, Liam.
And why is it so damn special?
Because we have been doing Nerd on Nerd for a whole year.
Who would have thought it?
And this is our final episode.
Well, no. This is our 1 year anniversary episode.
Oh.
Just it's a special episode. It's not just another normal bog standard one, but it's also definitely not our final one, probably.
Oh, okay.
So what we're doing to celebrate, one of us had the brilliant idea of doing something a little bit different, a little bit special. We've both written erotic fan fiction featuring each other, I believe.
Yeah, mine features you and me.
Cool. So that's something that we'll be reading out later on. So look forward to that.
Yeah, so just a quick note here to a certain group of our listeners, shall we say. If you're my parents, or a member of my family, or even, close friends of the family, and you don't want to hear what I'm assuming is going to be a kind of horrendous erotic fanfiction that Liam has written, maybe this episode isn't for you.
Hang on. Wait, I take umbrage with this, because my story, without spoiling anything, is beautiful.
Oh, if you know when porn has like tags on it and stuff?
Yeah.
Mine's got like all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like maybe this warning should be don't listen because of your story then.
Well, we'll see.
But yeah, so your parents, I mean, my mum won't ever bother listening to this.
Yeah, but what if she does? What if in the future your mum comes back and gets to this episode? Would you like to tell her to turn it off?
Nah, I'll just say thank you for listening at last. But any other parents as well who might be coerced into listening, maybe not a good one for you. Maybe.
Yeah, if there are children present, or if you're a child listening to this, turn it off.
Yeah, we are definitely 18 plus, right? But so that's Culture Swap. That's something to look forward to. I know you're excited, I'm excited. But before we get to that, it's time for my favourite segment, catching up with Jack and Liam. So what have you been up to, Jack?
Not much, Liam. Not much at all.
Oh, I was kind of hoping... Because I've been up to a lot, but I don't just want to spend ages just talking.
Well, there's something that we were both up to together.
Yes, let's start with that, shall we?
Yeah.
Alright,
so viewers of our YouTube channel will have seen a video go up about this, and I think we tweeted some stuff as well.
How could they find us on YouTube if they, maybe weren't a viewer but wanted to be?
They should probably listen to the end of this episode when we do that bit.
I like it. It keeps them listening.
Exactly. So they'll have seen, these people, that we went to Tully's Farm.
Shocktoberfest.
Amazing.
Would you like to do it in your voice?
Shocktoberfest.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it was basically, an attraction with a number of haunts. Was it 8 haunts? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was
Which
Halloween.
are effectively haunted houses.
Thank you, yeah.
I mean, we are doing this. So, I'm aware of this. I've said this to people. We aren't good at timing these things.
Well, we are.
No, because when the listeners are listening to this, it will be, sort of mid-November.
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks past Halloween.
Yeah, but obviously this was catching up. We did this, and now we're catching them up with what we did.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We can't predict the future.
Well, we can predict dates.
That's true. Anyway, so it was Halloween. So this farm had a event on, right?
Yeah.
Carry on.
So this place had the 8 haunts, which are just effectively like haunted house type things with live actors spooking and scaring you.
Yep.
And we went in thinking, why we do? I mean, I was confident at the beginning.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. Well, I knew it would. When I got there, I knew it would be scary.
Yeah.
But in the build up to it, I was very, lackadaisical about the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Even my sister was saying to me, "You're scared. You will be scared." And I was like, "I'm not feeling scared." But then when we got there, I was like, "Oh yeah, there it is. There's the fear."
Yeah, I just remember sort of the build up was very busy for me because I was getting ready. Myself and Kat wanted to go to the comic book shop first, so you were obviously a bit stressy that we'd get there on time, so you would have to wait around by yourself because you know what I'm like when it comes to time management.
Yeah.
So we left an hour later than we wanted to. Got to the comic book shop, sorted all that out. Lovely. Kat was very stressed because I, was running an hour behind.
Late.
And she very much likes to be early to things and likes to, if someone says, hey, we're going to do this at this time, she really likes it if you do it at that time.
Yeah.
She's less a fan of if you do it an hour later.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, this is just the way I operate, I'm afraid. This is one of my adorable little endearing quirks.
I don't know about adorable or endearing, but
Here's the thing,
it is
Jack.
part of you.
Here's the thing. It takes time to make myself presentable for the world. And I knew, not only did I have to be, like, world ready, I also had to be camera ready. So...
I mean, what did you have to do
like
that took you an extra hour?
Pluck nose hairs, have a shave. I tried wearing contact lenses, but that didn't work. So there was definitely things that had
That's
to be
not
done.
an hour's worth of stuff, though. Also, that would imply, for that to have just taken the hour, that would imply the moment you were meant to be leaving, you suddenly went, oh my goodness, I need to pluck my nose and shave. You should have had this already.
I like to dilly-dally quite a lot as well.
Yeah, I know.
So, it's fine. But yeah, so, you know, basically, despite being rushed and having to go to the comic book shop and stuff, we still got there ridiculously early.
I think, were you an hour early, or were you half an hour early?
I think it was like half an hour.
Because, yeah, I got there, I was aiming to be there on time.
Yeah.
And I think in the end I was very close to, I was either, 3 minutes late or 5 minutes late.
Yeah, it wasn't massive. Like, I wasn't moaning and being like, oh, where are you?
Well, in the video you were, because you were doing it for attention and you wanted everyone to side with you.
And yeah, hopefully...
When really it was your girlfriend in the car's fault that you were there early.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you were complaining about me.
No, because you wanted us there...
On time.
As well. Yeah.
Just on time.
Well, we were... Yeah,
you were very on time.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we got in and, we met up, we went in... And
but
we hit
sorry,
the
I just wanted. I just got distracted by myself. But the whole point of me telling all that was just to let them know that I didn't really. I was rushing around, so I didn't have time to have the fear sink in.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
So that's why I was talking about all that shit.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so we got in to the park farm, and we queued up for the first. There was not many people there at first.
No, it was
because we were there for opening.
Nice.
We waited outside for half an hour.
Yeah, we were there. So not only did we wait outside, but then once you got let in, then it was another half hour before any of the haunts opened.
Yeah, so we sort of wandered round and looked in the shop and all that stuff.
Made the bad choice of going for a less popular haunt first, when we really should have done some of the busier ones first, probably.
No, I think we did all right, because I think we did it. We did it in the only thing we messed up was the chop shop that we did, because we should have left that till right at the end, I reckon.
Yeah, possibly.
Which is what even Tully's themselves, when we tweeted about it, were saying. But so we queued for this, because I think doing it in the increasing order, because that's basically what we ended up doing, listeners, was I had on the website they had a rating for how scary each one was.
Yeah.
So I sort of was going through and being like, well, this one's got a 6, which is I think the lowest, so let's go and do that. And it wasn't horribly scary.
I mean, one of my absolute favourite moments of the whole night.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, we were queuing to go into the first haunt, and in front of us in the queue, they must have been, I reckon, early teens, like 12,
they were
13.
12, 13. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a couple of kids, I think there was 3 of them, and they were kind of not quite being like Billy Big Balls.
Yeah, I don't think they weren't being dicks or anything.
No, but
they were just sort of that confident, yeah, we're going to have fun tonight. Well, hey, let's go and let's be brave. And
they were saying something like, if you get scared, just sort of look down at the floor. Something
yeah,
like
that was
those
it.
lines.
Yeah.
And so, they were talking it large for a little bit. And then we saw them go in through the door. And then about a minute later, we saw, I don't know if all 3 of them came out.
No, it was 2 of them came out.
2 came out, and one of them was just shaking his head going, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah. Oh, it was beautiful.
That is when the first, trickles of fear crept in, because I was like, wait a second.
I mean, they were kids, so it wasn't like...
No, you're right, but it wasn't a...
But it was still like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and this whole event
scary.
Is supposed to be for 12 and up, I think it is.
Well, it is. They've got that whole daytime thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's where a lot of the young people go to.
Yeah.
Like young. I think the evening one seemed like it was more,
Oh, definitely.
Probably teen and up.
Yeah.
I guess.
But, so yeah, I think because we didn't really know what to expect, that is when I was like, oh, hang on a second. Because a part of me was almost dreading, I said to Kat a couple of times, I really hope it's not just shit and it's not too family orientated and it's not that good in the fear levels.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the first time I was like, oh, hang on a second. What have we let ourselves in for
here? Yeah. There was definitely didn't help.
No.
But it was, yeah. We could also, because in that one we could hear what was happening when we were outside. Because that's what happened, wasn't it? We heard someone bang on a wall.
Yeah, that's
and then the kids ran out.
Yeah.
So that was sort of you know, you could because I was like, oh, banging on the walls, that's pretty standard. That doesn't seem that scary.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, suddenly kids come running out near tears.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went in to this haunt, and Liam, you couldn't see anything, I believe.
Yeah, as listeners know, if you watched the video, you know I have issues.
He's night blind.
I'm night blind. I can't see in dim, low light, and this was pretty much no light, so I was fucked. So I had to stick very close to Kat, who kind of acted like a guide.
Yeah, Kat went first. You were sandwiched in between us.
Yeah, she bravely went first. And
she did. Kat is horribly brave.
I'd like to say neither of us really gave her much of a choice in it.
No, it was sort of like, Kat was like, I don't really want to go first. And then you're going, well, I can't see, so I can't go first. And I was like, and Kat, I'll cry if I go first. So,
yeah, so she bravely went first.
And this, you know, it was a scary thing anyway, this whole experience, just in general. But this sort of, to me, revealed some of the issues that I'd be having throughout the night. Because very quickly, we were with a biggish group of people. I think there were maybe 8 of us in one group, because they group you together, so you go round together. But yeah, so we were in the group, and I think we were at the back for that one, or very close to the back. Oh no, we were at the back, because I met the group behind us. Because it turns out, with Liam not being able to see, and having no faith in mine or Kat's ability to guide him, his reaction is to walk like a little old man.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this insultingly to old men, because, you know, if they could see it, they'd be like, I walk better than that. And you know what, old men? A lot of you don't walk like it. It's the stereotypical sort of doddery little legs, shoulders hunched over. It's that walk.
Yeah. It's the walk you would do, right, if you were walking in a new environment and you couldn't see anything. Yeah,
it is. It's that walk if you didn't have 2 of your friends saying, please hurry up, Liam, you're on a flat bit, there's nothing in front of us, let's go.
Yeah.
Which you did not speed up for.
No.
So we quickly got separated from our group.
Yeah.
To the point where, at one point I was worried we were going to be a target because of that, but then I suddenly became the front of the group behind us because they caught up with us.
Yeah. I know there was definitely, so that one was just very dark, and I heard people saying things, like I think a little girl or something stood in front of Kat and asked if she'd play with her, and then there was a guy that asked if he could have her eyes. So it was really, compared to some of the other stuff, it was quite tame.
Yeah, a couple of bangs on walls, which we didn't get any of, I don't think.
No, and some weird, like, mushy floor as well, which I didn't
that was a very weird bit.
Yeah. But I would say, I think the fear of that one came from it being our first haunt and us just not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, exactly.
So that definitely made it scarier than looking back it actually was.
Yeah. Because then we got to the second haunt.
Which I really enjoyed, because it had light.
Yeah, same. You could see.
I could see.
I really enjoyed it because it wasn't... Like, it was scary. I jumped a few times. There was one bit where I didn't look at something because I was a bit freaked out.
Yeah.
But overall, I was like, there's nothing horribly scary here, but I am creeped out.
Yeah, and there was a lot going on. So, like, the first bit, you kind of... It's hard to describe. You walked through this, like, narrow walkway, but it had, like, cushions that kind of...
It had inflatable sides, which were inflated against you.
Yeah, so it made it difficult to walk. And then, like, you'd have, like, mist next to you, and, like, witches would pop up and scream and
They'd
stuff.
pop up, run to you, shout something at you.
Sometimes they'd lean over and dangle their hair down, and you'd get confused and wonder if you had to, like, duck underneath or just wait for them to finish.
Well, you just keep walking. This was another issue. You just always keep walking, which you sometimes didn't do.
No, sometimes I didn't.
But it's... Yeah.
But then, that was
because she was that one. There was, I think, afterwards, because even though you could see better in that one, you were like, all those different ones jumped up at us, or you said something about how a bunch had popped up at us, and because I was towards the back again of the whole group, I just watched this woman. She basically it was this one big area, and she was the only witch in it.
Yeah,
but she kept running. So as our group walked past, she'd talk to us, say something weird, then she'd run towards wherever the front of our group was and make them jump.
Yeah. And
then just run back to us again. And I was like, I can see what you're doing. I was still jumping.
Yeah.
But I was like, I feel like she should be ducking under the smoke, maybe, where she was just, like, running straight at us.
That's fair. But then, so that's just the first part of that one. There was a lot of other stuff. Like, there was a bit where you go outside and there's a fire going on. There was a bit where they had, like, a huge fan blowing air at you. A bit where you had to, like, duck under a thing. And it was, it was very... There was a lot going on, and there was lights.
So your ideal haunt.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I agree with what you said. There was definitely a couple of bits where I didn't want to look at what was going on because it was freaky. And the other thing is, my like mantra throughout was don't look, because I think as soon as you make eye contact, it's almost like they take that as permission for them to talk to you and do stuff.
Well, I think if no one does it, they'll just target someone random.
Yeah.
If you're obviously scared, they'll target you.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, and I get that, because you'd be like, this is fucking hilarious. I'm going to make this grown man cry.
Yeah, but if you're walking around like a doddery old man who can't see, I have to admit, I feel like I got relatively left alone in a couple of the haunts.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you did get more left alone. You probably had less stuff total happen to you than me and Kat had.
And that might also be because I was sandwiched in the middle.
Yeah, because I'd get scared and grab onto your shoulders.
Yeah.
Kat would be urging you to walk forward, so you were just sort of protected.
Yeah, and also, like, because I'd be walking slow, then we'd quite often get separated, and then someone would jump up in front of Kat.
Yeah, then someone would grab me or whatever. Not grab me, they weren't allowed to touch you, apparently.
No. But yeah, so the witch one, I really enjoyed. I think you enjoyed, and Kat enjoyed.
Yeah, we all enjoyed it.
So that gave us a lot of confidence for
yeah,
our next
we're like,
one.
oh, this one, that was high scare. I think it was a 9, if I remember rightly.
Like, it was creepy, but we weren't, screaming.
No, exactly. I think I screamed a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because I just do when I'm scared. I screamed, and then I had manic laughter a couple of times. Maybe not in that one so much.
No.
But yeah, so we got that false confidence. And I say false, because it was proved to be false very quickly.
With our next haunt.
Yeah, which was called the Chop Shop, which was I'd heard about before.
I hadn't.
I knew vaguely what would happen in there. Like, I'd seen stuff and knew that there'd be chainsaws.
Yeah.
But that's all I really knew. I was like, I know there are chainsaws in this one.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that I had a fear of chainsaws before this, Liam. But,
I mean, it's one of those things that is it's an understandable fear, I feel.
I mean, yeah, and specifically the situation we were in.
Yeah.
The fear is very understandable.
So my first sort of worried moment was it was a lot of strobe lighting, and apparently my eyes don't like that because I immediately walked into a car and then went round.
To be fair, I hit my foot on that car as well.
Yeah, and then I went round a corner and walked into another car. At which point, I believe one of the actresses broke character and said to mind your step. But it turned out that was less of an issue because this one was just a lot of like narrow corridors that twisted around. It was very disorientating. And then to make things worse, there was just a lot of doors that people would randomly run through, make loud noises, and swing chainsaws around. I
mean, yeah, so it like escalated this one because at the start you're going through car sort of mechanic square places, which are quite big and open, and there was one person in it, and she was following us round a bit. And at this one, I was right at the back of the group.
Yeah.
So I kept looking back because I was like, I know that someone's going to jump out at me and do something.
You was telling me to hurry up a lot, I remember, in this one.
It's because this was the one where we got the most separated we had been all night.
Yeah.
Because you went slow, understandably because of the strobe lights, I get that.
Not only that, but also it was quite scary, so I just wanted to have a bit of a breather.
Yeah, which is the worst fucking thing to do because then we become a target, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, right, you've seen, like, you've not seen as many horror films as I have, but you've seen a fair few, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You've surely seen it where a woman is being chased, she's all hyperventilating and stuff, and then she just trips over nothing. We didn't want that to happen, did we?
No, but you've also seen horror films where like the small group goes, I'm going to go off this way and get separated from the main group, and then they get killed.
Yeah, but not because they're like just taking.
They get killed because they're alone.
Well, we didn't get killed.
We didn't, but I mean, it felt like I had.
Yeah, like we did. Someone put a chainsaw against a wall, and we had to sort of duck under it.
And then one of them, at one point, I believe, he slammed the chainsaw because basically they were swinging the chainsaws round. One guy was managing to get them. They hadn't got like the blades on them.
Yeah, they're safe, but they're still quite scary.
It's still a chainsaw. Yeah, it would hurt if he hit you with it.
Yeah, I feel like if you would touch it, it would probably take some skin off, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely it had motors and shit going in it.
Yeah, it was making loud noises too. It's very loud.
But yeah, so they were all swinging it round because there were quite a few of them. There must have been about 4 chainsaw guys.
Yeah.
And you'd go into a room, they'd be swinging it round frantically.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like it was the same move that a lot of them were then doing, which was they would walk over to you, and they were all quite tall guys.
Yeah.
And they would slam the chainsaw into the wall above you.
Yeah.
So that they made an arch with their bodies, and you'd have to walk under them effectively.
Yeah.
So at that point, you ducked under it.
Yeah.
I went to duck under it and was a little bit freaked out, and I'd been sort of squealing and manically laughing for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help because then they're like, because I think a lot of them thought I was being like confident.
Yeah.
Because I was laughing, and I was like, I'm really not. I'm crapping myself.
Yeah.
So I then looked away from this guy, being like, oh god, what am I doing? And then he just held the chainsaw next to my head and blew the exhaust in my ear for a while.
Yeah.
like for a fair while as well. Like I was trying to walk, and then because that was sort of towards the end, that specific one.
Yeah.
And then he just followed us, doing that to me.
Yeah.
For a couple more rooms.
Yeah, and then at the end, they chased us.
Yeah, so at the end, you get into this long corridor, you can see the exit, and I turned round and saw that they were coming.
Yeah.
Because I knew he was following us still, so I said to you guys, oh, he's following us.
Yeah.
So, be ready.
Yeah.
I
was just, still sort of doddering.
Blind. And then, so suddenly he revs this chainsaw and just runs down this corridor.
Yeah, so
I just screamed.
So from my perspective, I can't really see. I'm following Kat. Behind me, I hear a squeal, and just out of the corner of my eye, I see Jack run past me. I then see Kat also squeal and start running, at which point I'm like, I'm not going to look behind, but I should probably run.
Yeah. Oh...
That was definitely, it was 100% the scariest, but it was also the most fun.
It was fun, but I wouldn't rush back to do it.
Well, you've got a year to prepare yourself.
We'll do something else next year. We'll do knitting.
Let's knit a scary pattern.
Spooky scarves.
Well, I'm really proud of the video we produced.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. The video we've made is really good.
If we say so ourselves.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But... the video cuts there as we agree that we're abandoning Tully's.
Yeah.
But what actually happened was that we had been looking at this one ride, which everyone had been talking... well, not everyone had been talking about, but I knew people that had been like, that's the one to go on, it's good, it's fun.
I'd seen that this was the busiest one. And to try and get there early, because at one point we walked past it and it said the queue was 2 hours long.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, one thing I would like to point out... the whole farm ran really well. We had very minor queue times considering it was the busiest night. And I just think it was all the way it was all done was very good.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. They do a really good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'd seen that this queue time was 2 hours, an hour and a half, all night.
Yeah.
And then so as we had sort of decided we were going to leave, but it was still a little bit early. I say early, it was 9, it was dark still.
Yeah, we basically, we got to a stage where we all had one horn that we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Okay? There was one that was a carnival-themed one. Kat's terrified of clowns, so she definitely didn't want to do that one.
Yeah.
There was one that I didn't want to do, which, okay, I understand there's some weird, irony to this, but they put a bag over your head so you can't see, which shouldn't have been an issue for me, but just the idea of that made me uncomfortable. And then it's called the Hell Elements or something, or Hellements.
Yeah, there's a lot of fire and you can feel it all. I really wanted to do that one.
Yeah, you were really up for that. I really wasn't. Apparently you follow a rope around, and I didn't like the idea of just people jumping at me and screaming.
Which is what they were doing to you anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, but not being able to see, but having someone guide me is fair enough. Not being able to see and having to guide myself through this rope, really off-putting.
Yeah.
And then there was also an apocalypse one, which you started off at the beginning of the night, you were well up for. Yeah. And then at some point we were queuing for another horn when you realised that also people were getting chased out of this one, and suddenly...
that wasn't even why. I didn't want to do Colony, which is the apocalypse one, after Chop Shop.
Yeah.
Because it was the same... I think it was because it was the same rating, and I'd just come off Chop Shop, and I was like, I don't want to do another one, and that's the one that people would do, I think,
Yeah.
So I was like, I really don't want to do it. I just don't want to go in there. It's going to be very similar to Chop Shop in the fact that I was like, it's going to be people as opposed to spooky people being ghosts.
Or witches.
It's going to be people being terrifying cannibals.
Yeah. And then there was another...
So then, there was another one, but that one we all just sort of agreed...
Yeah,
you and Kat didn't really want to do it. I didn't particularly want to do it either.
Yeah, there was one called The Cellar, and it just sounded awful.
Yeah, maybe a bit claustrophobic-y, people chasing you, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But so then we saw that the queue time for, what was it called? Horrorwood...
Hayride?
The Horrorwood Hayride, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a tractor ride. That's what it is.
And that's why the queues were building up so much, because you can only fit X amount of people on a tractor.
Yeah.
And the tractors... there was 3 or 4 going around a circuit, but obviously...
Yeah.
It wasn't constant like the other ones were.
No. So we started queuing for that, and that's when we found out that Colony had chainsaws. Because we were queuing for and it looked like there was an exit next to our queue, and I could hear someone with a chainsaw, and he kept chasing people out. And I was like, I swear to God, if this is the exit to this one, I'm leaving.
Yeah, you weren't
I was
happy.
like, I'm not going on it if it's that. Which
but it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was when I was like, oh, I definitely have a problem with people with chainsaws.
Yeah. But then, the Horrorwood Hayride was a nice one to end it on. It was a bit different.
Yeah.
There was a couple of creepy moments. It wasn't... I would say, if anything, it was more annoying than scary, personally.
I wasn't scared on that one.
Yeah, I was just annoyed. Basically...
I jumped, I think, maybe once or twice, like when things would fall and then be caught before they hit you. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So on this one, you sit on like the back of the trailer of a tractor, and there's seats all around the edges, and then when they get filled up, as they did, because Kat just sat down and went, well, I've got a seat, and I was like, cool,
yeah, no, fucking right, yeah.
Yeah, so I then had to go and sit on this like bench in the middle, and the issue with that is people would jump onto the trailer, like, you know, actors and stuff.
Yeah, they climbed. There were some stairs at the back that they climb up.
Yeah, and the problem is, if you're just sat around the edge, that's fine. They're going to be in front of you. When you're sat in the middle, you have them in front of you and behind you.
No, see, you're saying this like because you didn't sit on the edge, you don't know what the edge was like either. Because I wasn't even on an edge, Liam, and I had people manage to sneak up next to me. Because the whole thing with it was there was stuff going on everywhere. So someone would jump on, but they jump on as some noise had happened, so you didn't know they'd got on. So while you were getting scared because they were behind you and you didn't know they were there, there were a couple of moments where, you know, the women that were smelling everyone?
Yep.
I didn't notice them get on until they were next to me.
Alright, well, the other issue I was having is every time they'd walk past, they'd like either step on my foot or knock my legs.
Well, that's because you're just in the way, in general.
Yeah, exactly. I felt very in the way, which did kind of take me out of it a little bit. But the other thing is, there were moments on that one that worked brilliantly well. Like, there's a bit where you ride past this weird, like, beaked man thing.
Oh,
like
yeah,
a fleshy beak. And there's someone who's being hung, and he just sort of stared. It felt like he was staring into my soul. He was probably just staring generally around. He didn't really have eyes. But that was very creepy. And then there was another one where, obviously, because I was on the bench right at the back of the trailer, I could see as the people were coming on. And there was one where there was like a woman dressed in white who was just stood very still, staring.
Was she the one that had the white bag over her head as well?
Yeah, and then she suddenly just ran towards the trailer, but then stopped before she got on. And that was very creepy too. But it was those ones, it was more the anticipation of what could happen that made them scary, less, you know, what did happen.
Yeah, no, I imagine I would have been more scared if I was sitting at the back. It was less the middle for me. It was more the idea of sitting at the back and knowing that someone could just jump on without me noticing. Like, even though I didn't notice someone get on.
Yeah.
If I was at the back, it would have been worse because I probably wouldn't have noticed any of them.
Yeah.
Until they were right next to me.
But it was still a good.
It was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The kid next to me annoyed me.
Yeah.
Because he was being a dick and just, you know, he was one of those kids that was like shouting at the actors, being like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no. We're all here because we want to be scared.
Some more than others.
Yeah. But it was still, you know, it's like you're detracting from other people's experience at this point.
Yeah. And the thing
he kept leaning out of the tractor, and they'd specifically said, keep your hands inside the tractor, which, you know, like that thing that fell down.
Yeah.
That was pretty close. Like, close enough that I imagine if you were leaning out,
it would hit you.
It could have hit you.
Yeah.
So I was like, this kid's just being... And his mum once said to him, sit down. And he did. And then he immediately stood up and she just ignored him. And I was like, really?
It's annoying when it comes down to just bad parenting.
Well, it didn't feel like she was a bad parent, more just like a pushover parent, like worried about shouting at her kids or whatever. And I was like, no, just shout at them, otherwise I will.
Yeah. But I luckily when I was sat, I didn't have to deal with any of that.
No, you didn't. You had it. I had all right people to my left because I made them laugh, Liam.
Well, that's good.
Maybe my favourite moment of the night.
Yeah.
Was a man came on, jumped on the trailer. Yeah. Because only about half of them were like bad guy actors.
Yeah, that's true.
And the other half were like good guys who were telling you this sort of story. Like there was a cop who was saying, "Oh, you got to turn back." I think he made some people jump because he like shouted something very quickly at someone.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh," and he was like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm preparing you."
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But this guy got on who was clearly meant to be like a sort of crazy. I don't know who he was meant to be. Whether he was meant to be a character.
Okay.
But he was this sort of ginger guy who was, you know, bright red frizzy hair. Yeah. And he was talking to everyone and being like, "Oh, you all seem like nice people." And then he saw me.
Yeah.
And I locked eyes with him, and he froze and just pointed at me and was like, "You look exactly like my husband." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So he was then talking to me for a while.
Yeah.
And then he's going, "Oh, my husband, he's in jail. It's all, you know, a big misunderstanding." So then, of course, the next person that jumps on is this deranged husband who, you know, has escaped from prison, who then immediately starts shouting at everyone, especially me, because I'm talking to his woman/man.
Yeah.
So then, when he walked off after shouting at me, I said to the guy with red frizzy hair, "Oh, well, he seems nice." And he sort of looked at me and went, "Yeah, he is." And then the group next to me just had a little chuckle with me. And I was like, there we go.
Well,
I made
that's
that a
good.
little bit better for everyone.
Yeah, well done.
I'm a hero. And that's not me saying that, Liam. That's you.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm going to edit it.
Oh, okay, cool. Good luck with that. The thing that surprised me most about the night was, one, how scary I found it.
Yep.
Because I was definitely expecting to be scared, but not...
You would have been the person I would have expected to be the bravest because of the amount of horror stuff you've watched and all that stuff.
Turns out it's way different watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre to having a chainsaw next to your face.
Yeah, weird that.
Weird, right? But the thing that surprised me the most was how much Kat enjoyed it.
Yeah.
She was loving it.
Because Kat's got a crippling fear of clowns.
Yeah, I feel like she wouldn't have loved it so much if we'd have made her do the carnival one.
But Liam, there was that guy walking round, not in one of the haunts, just walking round, who was dressed up in circus attire, and just chasing people.
Yeah.
And Kat seemed fine with it.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Because I was like, oh, look over there, there's a guy.
Yeah.
And Kat was just like, oh. And I was like, what?
I don't understand. I think she's damaged, that girl.
Yeah, she's insanely brave. Congratulations, Kat.
But here's the thing, Jack. If I can get my eyes sorted, and I can get it so I can see in low light, because it could be as simple as a new prescription, it could be more complicated, let's hope for simplicity, I really want to go again, because I feel like...
Well, that's fine. I'll come with you, and I'll get one of the tickets that doesn't go on the haunts.
I mean, that's not the same.
Well, I have already experienced it, Liam.
You have, but there'll be new haunts.
No, I'm alright.
Well... The other thing is, basically, I want our video to do so well that they invite us back so we can film in the actual haunts themselves.
I'll tell them to fuck off.
So, if you're listening and you haven't yet seen the video, even if you have, go watch it again, give it a thumbs up, give it a little cheeky comment, because, honestly, I feel like if we could film around the haunts and you could hear Jack shrieking like a little girl, you would love it.
I don't want to.
And that's another reason to do it.
You don't really want to either, though.
Honestly, if I can get my eyes sorted, I do. If I can't, then it would just be another, because not being able to see some of the haunts was a little annoying.
Right.
So it's...
I mean, yeah, we didn't notice that, Liam. It's not like you told us every single fucking haunt.
Exactly.
For about 10 minutes afterwards, all you were doing was going, oh, scary. Oh, I couldn't see, though.
Yeah. So if I can get that sorted, it should be a lot more fun for all of us. So that was Halloween. I've had quite the busy week still, because it was Kat's birthday.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and for her birthday last year, I went all out, treated her to a Harry Potter themed bonanza, with the only caveat being she'd have to wait a year for it all, because I booked tickets to see The Cursed Child Part 1 and 2 on the day they were released. So it was very stressful. It was one of those situations where you was on a website, and once the tickets opened, you would be randomly allocated a number in a queue.
Yeah.
So I had 2 laptops open. I had Firefox, Chrome, incognito mode, just trying to up my chances of being put in this queue at a good number.
Yeah.
Luckily, one of them panned out. I had a couple of choices for dates, and I figured because we'd both have to take time off for holiday, we'd be taking a day off for her birthday anyway. Why not take a couple of days off before it and have a bit of a Harry Potter themed extravaganza? So,
how exciting. 2
days before her birthday, we went to see The Cursed Child Part 1 and 2 up in that London.
Yep. I'm aware of it.
Yep, I've only really seen 3 theatre productions. I saw The Producers with you.
Yep.
I've seen The Book of Mormon, also up in London, and now The Cursed Child. And I would have to say, don't get me wrong, Producers, good. Book of Mormon, great. Cursed Child just blew me away.
Yeah, well, this surprised me.
Yeah.
Because, as far as I was aware, you're not, the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world.
No, I've read all the books. I got the last book... spur of the moment at a midnight release. I was literally, I remember, I was just sat on MSN talking to someone, because that's what we used to do back in the day.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and it came out, it was midnight, and I was like, hey, I might as well drive to my local Tesco that's open 24 hours and pick it up. Do you want to come with? And, I went there wasn't a big event or anything, there was no queues, just grabbed the book, came home, sort of read it over the next week or so. So, yeah, read all the books, but not a huge fan. But here's the thing, Book of Mormon, which I really did enjoy, it's very, very funny, and it's great. But The Cursed Child is just such a production.
Yeah.
So, not only is the story good, but what they actually achieve with the stage and the set direction, all of that stuff is just phenomenal.
Okay.
So I honestly, I understand that tickets are expensive and they're hard to get hold of, but if you can, would 100% recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably see Book of Mormon first.
Yeah, that's fair. But like I said, that's just great and it's funny and it's a good time. This is it's like an experience. That's the only way I can describe it. And even that sounds cliche, but it does really. Yeah. And I think the other thing is like you have options, so you can see like part 1 and 2 on different days. We did it both in one day.
How long is that if you watch both at once?
So part 1 is 2 hours 45 minutes with a 20-minute break in between. Then you get a 2-hour gap. And then part 2 is 2.5 hours, again with a 20-minute break in between.
Fucking hell.
So this was my kind of concern going in. I was like, if this is terrible, I've committed like
You're
5 hours.
7 if you've got the 2-hour gap in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not going to be able to really go and do anything.
Well, we went and got dinner. Like there was
but I mean, that's like it, innit?
That's all you can do. So yeah, it was a whole day of it. But honestly, not only like was the actual play itself good, but the story and the way they continue it. For those that don't know, basically it takes place, I believe it's 19 years after the events of Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of years after the epilogue. So all of the main cast, like Harry, Ron, Hermione, etc., Ginny, they're all grown up, and the story kind of focuses on one of Harry's kids and his time at Hogwarts, but also like how Harry is involved. I don't want to say any more.
Harry's still a character in it.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like he's just forgotten and the story just refocuses.
Okay.
And I think they did a really, really good job of believably continuing these characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought the story was good. I think the other thing that the story did really well was how it incorporated previous stuff. Like saying anything more would be a spoiler.
Right, got you.
But like what happens in the previous books, it's not like they just kind of like ignore it or put it to one side or anything. It like things that have previously happened are still like weighing.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So yeah, just honestly, if you can go and see it, do.
Maybe.
Then we didn't stop there though, Jack. Oh no, this was a extravaganza of Harry Potterness. Okay. We stayed over in a hotel in a Harry Potter themed bedroom.
Oh.
Which it was amazing. So it's like a normal hotel, but then they have what looks like a bookcase, and one of the books is sticking out. And you grab it, it turns out to be a door handle. So this bookcase like swings open, and then there's 2 rooms behind, which are both like Harry Potter themed. So they've got like they've got all the books. You can borrow the DVDs to watch. It's all sort of decorated with like vials and like fancy mirrors and stuff.
Were there any house elves?
Sadly not, no.
Any moving pictures?
Sadly not, no. Did have like a nice 4-poster bed, and there was a toilet that said Ministry of Magic this way pointing down, which I thought was a nice little touch. So you know, it was just something different. But yeah, it was nice. And then the next day we did the Warner Brothers studio tour. So it was another long, and also super long, just super long. Like that tour, we thought maybe we'd be done in like 4 hours. We got there at 12. I don't think we got out until like 6:30.
I can't remember how long it took me when I did it, because I did it with my dad and my brother.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting.
There was one moment, like, I agree, very interesting. There was one moment that not bothered me, embarrassed me, shall we say.
Embarrassed you?
Yeah, so when you did it, was there this bit where they asked if it was anyone's birthday, and then like 2 kids got up and they grabbed onto the handles of these doors, and then when they open it, you go into like the Great Hall that's used in the films.
Yeah.
And then there's a woman that's talking about it and how it's, you know, how the floor is all flagstones and stuff. And then this woman starts going through the houses asking. And the first house, she says, is there anyone from Hufflepuff? Now, we were in a group, probably of about 60 to 70 people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one for, like, making a scene. But when she says that anyone from Hufflepuff, I legitimately 100% was expecting there to be other cheers. So
did you? Yeah, you cheered for Hufflepuff.
I cheered really loudly and clapped my hands.
Yeah, same, bro. Don't worry, mate. I was happy to admit I was Hufflepuff. I bought a Hufflepuff hat from the studio.
Yeah. Here's the issue, Jack.
No one else did.
No one else. I was the only person.
People are liars, Liam. Everyone thinks that they're not a Hufflepuff. They always want to be brave like Gryffindor.
Yeah, fuck
or
that.
Smart like Ravenclaw.
Fuck that.
Or the people
evil
that think
like
they're
Slytherin.
tough. No, yeah, they just think they're tough. They're like, oh, I'm a Slytherin. You're like, you're not.
You're not.
But, okay.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, oh, Hufflepuff's the lame house. I'd be a fucking Hufflepuff. It's the chill house.
And they're very loyal, which is one of my
Ah,
strongest
fuck loyalty.
strengths.
They're just chill.
They're cool. And, you know, they're like, their dormitories next to the kitchen.
Exactly. That's
Just
my
pretty cool.
ideal place.
But here's the thing. So I'm the only one that cheered. So everyone just looked at me. And then we went, oh, good to see we've got one in. And I was like, well, where's everyone else?
Yeah.
Like, Ravenclaw got a fair few cheers. And then Gryffindor got loads and Slytherin got
Obviously,
loads.
yeah.
And it's like, mate, there
Who
is
did Cat
no
cheer for?
way.
What was Cat?
Huh?
Did Cat cheer for Gryffindor?
No, she's Slytherin.
Is she?
Of course she is.
She was very brave at the Tullies thing.
Yeah, I know, but also she's evil. So, but yeah, so the studio tour, great. I didn't like Butterbeer.
I liked Butterbeer.
It was just a weird mix of like sweet and then weird.
Right.
The thing
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, Liam. That's the thing. It doesn't. When you tell me you don't like something, I used to like not be offended, but I'd be like, "Oh man, I can't believe Liam doesn't like that thing. I don't understand." But I've got to a point where I'm just like, "Oh, Liam doesn't like most things." So now I'm just like, I'll say to you, "Oh, this is good. Try it."
Yeah.
You'll try it and go, "I don't like it." And instead of being like, "Oh man, I sort of failed to get Liam to like something," I just go, "Yeah, no, I sort of really expected that. It's just I wanted to have someone to talk to about it."
Yeah, it's like with The Cursed Child. You're more surprised that I liked it.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, the studio tour, great. Just long, and it's a lot of information to take in as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had fun.
I'm
Like,
glad. Did Kat enjoy it?
Yeah, she loved it. She loved it, but she's a huge Harry Potter nerd. Whereas,
Yeah.
obviously, I wasn't too sure. I was, not the most excited about these 2 days, but I did kind of really enjoy it.
What did you think about because the best thing at the studio tour, in my opinion, is the miniature model of Hogwarts?
Yeah, which isn't
Because
really
it's just
that miniature,
so impressive.
But
No,
yeah.
it's scaled down so that relatively it's minuscule, but in
still
reality
huge.
it's 2 stories high.
Yeah,
Like when you actually look, like it takes 2 stories. It's not all the way to the roof of the second story, but they have like a balcony around it.
yeah,
It's because that was the bit we walked in there and we were like, oh wow.
yeah. That was incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
The other bit that I loved is I got Kat to relive one of her childhood dreams where they have like green screen set up and you can ride brooms.
Yeah, we skipped all that. We didn't want to queue.
Yeah, no, I made Kat do it so she could relive a childhood dream.
Did she super enjoy it?
Nah, but it was really fun for me watching her do it.
Yeah, that's unsurprising.
But yeah, no, it was really good. And then I came away with some books, like a set of Harry Potter paperback books that were exclusive to the shop there.
Oh, okay.
Which was a bit of a ball ache to lug back home from London, but the thing that annoyed me the most though, I really wanted a cool Hufflepuff t-shirt. And they either weren't bright yellow, in which case, why the fuck would I get it? I'm going to be representing my colours, so like a weird grey. Or there was a nice yellow one, but it had like a weird grey patch, just like towards the bottom of it. It just looked really shit.
I just got a hat, like a normal baseball cap with Hufflepuff on the top.
I didn't. I ended up with all I got was some Hufflepuff bookmarks.
Fair enough.
So,
you're not a true Hufflepuff then, Liam.
Oh, I think I am.
No house loyalty.
Oh, I have a lot. But yeah, it was a good Harry Potter themed week, and then it was Kat's birthday, so she got more presents and stuff, so she had a good time.
Fair enough.
And I got 3 days off work, so can't complain with that.
No, that's always good.
So that's been catching up with Jack and Liam. Now, as you might expect, Jack, this is our 1 year anniversary, right? We've had a couple of listeners now who have listened to every episode.
Yeah, I think we've got a few that have listened to every episode.
We have a previous guest on the show, Mark Dawes. He listened to every episode.
Yep.
And he sent us an email. And I, assumed it would be congratulating us on a wonderful year full of joy and humour. Can I read the email for you?
I know what the email is. Yes, go for it.
This is from Mark Dawes. Hi, I was most looking forward to a Nerd on Nerd podcast special on the season opener of The Walking Dead, but I found out that this won't be happening from a very reliable source, due to one of the dynamic duo, who I shall not name and disgrace, though I should do, being, and I quote, a lazy cum dumpster who is refusing to watch it to spite himself. I must say, I am outraged. What kind of fan service is this? You expect the listeners to be more engaging to your podcast and to tweet amusing anecdotes and leave 5-star iTunes reviews, and yet you do not even bother to keep up to date with one of the biggest TV events of the year. I scratch your back, and you stab a knife repeatedly into my bleeding, achy, breaky heart. I hope you have a damn good explanation for such slothful insolence. Yours displeasedly, a former loyal listener.
Yeah.
Now, do you have anything to say to that?
Well, we have covered the fact that I'm catching up with The Walking Dead.
Have we?
Yeah, last episode.
Did we cover it?
Yeah.
So you're definitely catching up?
Yeah, I agreed that I would make sure that I was up to date for the finale so that we can record a Nerd on Nerd special.
Okay, so I'm sure
finale.
our listeners are eager to know how is that going.
Yep, I've watched none yet.
Cool. Okay, great. So
Ask how many I've got to watch, Liam.
How many have you got to watch?
Not entirely sure. I don't remember where I stopped watching.
So I think that's just going to excite our listeners more.
Yep. On to the main part of the show.
The part that everyone's looking forward to, particularly Jack, I feel.
Oh, yep.
Culture Swap,
Swap my culture.
where we will be reading erotic fan fiction.
That we have written.
Now,
And possibly other people.
Mark made a very good point when I was discussing this idea with him.
Did he say he's going to turn it off at this point because he feels disgusted and sick?
No. Here's the
Okay.
thing. I feel like a lot of people are excited for this, in all honesty. When I first, as people who watched the exclusive clip that went on our YouTube channel recently, they'll know that you weren't the biggest fan of this idea.
Yep.
So, before I before I pitched it on the show, I asked a few people what they thought, and I was saying to Mark, and he said he thought it was a good idea. He was saying the only issue is obviously with fan fiction, it should be from fans. To which point I countered, I don't think there's a bigger fan of the show than me and you.
Well, you definitely, and I don't think you're a fan of the show. I think you're a fan of yourself.
Well, I mean,
I think I'm a fan of the show. You're a fan of Liam.
No, because Liam wouldn't be so good without Jack there, the long-suffering, put upon partner in crime.
Right.
Right?
I'm glad I'm the sidekick.
I wouldn't say sidekick, I'd say antagonist. To our dashing hero.
Of course.
Trying to ruin
Yeah,
his
alright,
fun.
I get... Yeah, so Mark said, fans, you think you're the biggest fan, or we're the biggest fans.
Yeah, so that means it is fan fiction, right?
I guess. Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
I like the fact that he wasn't worried about you were writing erotica about yourself.
No, just that we weren't fans.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, God.
Alright, so we're going to start with my story, and I've written this as a bit of a script. So there's parts for me to read out, and there's a part for Jack to read out. Are you excited, Jack?
No.
What we'll do is, once we've finished reading this, there'll be a section for critique.
Yep.
Okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Sure.
This is Jack and Liam's Sexy Story, Part 1, A Sexy Story, by Liam. Liam's phone began to ring. With mild-mannered frustration, he wearily looked at who was calling. It was Jack.
Yo, Liam. How's it going, buddy? You busy?
Kinda. Liam replied with a hesitation that Jack couldn't help but notice.
For fuck's sake, put the flesh tube down. I need your help.
It's called a fleshlight, actually. But fine. What is it?
I got a reply.
Liam stiffened, and then slowly released his grip on the fleshlight. With a quiet deliberation, he pulled up his trousers and pants. I'll be right there. With not a single consideration for himself or his unfinished task at hand, Liam rushed to meet Jack at his house, for he knew how important this moment was. Jack had been searching for the one for a while now, but she was an elusive creature. However, it appeared she had finally made contact. Jack stood before Liam with an undeniable rugged handsomeness. His unkempt beard was a sight to behold, and while some might describe his eyes as beady, Liam wasn't sure he agreed with such an assessment. His body defied description.
Jesus, how did you get here so fast?
I didn't finish.
I didn't need to know that. Anyway, look at what she said.
Jack handed Liam his phone, and with nimble fingers, Liam flicked to the latest trendy dating app, Nerds in Nerds. Jack's profile was a magnificent sight to behold, with many a heroic pose, and just the one scantily clad teasing picture. Many a lady had been enraptured, but only the one mattered. Liam tapped on the envelope icon and opened the top message. It was a voice message. A seductive, sultry voice read, You have been chosen. Meet me at beep. Bring a beep. Beep alone. And don't beep beep. A robotic voice declared, End of message. Liam looked at the phone quizzically.
What does that mean?
Well, mate, I think it means you're in there.
In where? Where do I meet her? What do I bring? What, alone? Don't be what? I don't understand, Liam. I just beep.
Jack was close to malfunctioning, and it was down to Liam to pull him back from the brink with some carefully chosen words. Jack, you can't just beep.
Well, I don't know what else to do.
It's alright, buddy. We can work this out together. First, we got to figure out where she wants to meet you, and I got an idea. Jack's eyes filled with hope, and Liam smiled a wry smile. Together they ventured into the world, and it wasn't long before a horrible realisation dawned on Jack.
Oh no, you're not taking me there. Liam, please, tell me you're not taking me where I think you're taking me.
Well, now that entirely depends on where you think I'm taking you.
If we end up at East High School, I swear to God.
It's fine. It's the first weekend of the month, and you know what that means.
No, Liam, no I do not.
Well, on the first weekend of the month, all of the graduates return for a sing-along, and
Sorry, and a what?
The important thing to remember is they are all over the age of 18. As Liam said those words, the dynamic duo rounded a corner to bear witness to an unbelievable sight. There, in the East High School car park, was a large white sign that read, Annual Monthly Orgy Now Taking Place. Below the sign was a mass of writhing bodies, flesh pressed into flesh, soft moans, and looks of pure ecstasy. It was hard to tell where one person ended and another began. Liam's eyes widened. Jack's closed. And then, in a hauntingly beautiful way, the participants' voices arose in unison. We're all in this together.
Make it stop.
But Liam couldn't make it stop. He was feeling himself being inexplicably drawn closer and closer. He moved, trance-like, closer to the bodies, arms reached with grasping hands, looking for another to join their party. Liam took a solemn look behind, just in time to see Jack open his eyes. Wordlessly, he mouthed, "Help me." With a steely resolve, Jack lunged forward and grabbed Liam before the nearest outstretched hand could clasp his belt buckle.
I'm going to get you out of here.
No, leave me be. This is where I must be. Jack noticed that Liam wasn't behaving like himself. Well, he was, but his eyes had a slight gaze to them that he didn't recognise. No, there was definitely some trickery at work here, and Jack was determined to get to the bottom of it, and also figure out the mysterious message left by the one. But with a mighty push, Liam shoved Jack out of the way, and then found himself quickly enveloped by hands and arms and legs and feet and other body parts too numerous to list. As hands grasped at Liam's clothes, pulling them from his body, a voice flashed into Liam's mind. It sounded like it was coming from a great distance, but was instantly recognisable as the voice from Jack's voice message. Meet me at the dungeon. Suddenly, Liam felt strong hands grab his ankles as he felt himself being pulled out and away from the orgy. It was Jack, a look of wild panic in his eyes.
I got you, buddy.
Jack pulled again, extricating Liam from the hot, sticky mess. Unfortunately, Liam's shirt was ripped from his torso and quickly submerged into the heaving pile of bodies. Jack escorted Liam to the home of a nearby friend, Dan Palmer. Liam was still pretty unresponsive, occasionally grasping feebly at the air, quietly murmuring, I've got to be breaking free so I can bop to the top and find what I've been looking for, the start of something new, and there was me and you, if only I could get your head in the game. Liam then busted out a sweet dance move. Dan looked worried. He'd seen this before. It was a truly tragic affliction that only had one cure. Luckily, he knew exactly who could help.
Jack. My boy, you need to take Liam to the third wheel. It's a pub. The landlady should be able to assist, and I would cover him up.
Dan handed Jack a blanket which he wrapped around Liam. Without further ado, Jack took the poorly Liam as instructed, where he was greeted by Kat Fyson. She was not unfamiliar with this curse.
Hold his nose and pour this liquid down his throat. It will hurt like hell, but he'll be alright in a few minutes. Goddamn nasty affliction, this.
I don't understand. What's wrong with him?
Oh, he thinks he's Zac Efron. Don't worry, get this medicine in him and he'll be as right as rain.
Jack did as he was told, and the next few minutes were a nail-biter. Would Liam be okay? 1 minute, ticked into 2, then into 3, and Liam was looking no better.
Shit, I thought that would work. You need Mark Dawes for this. Only he can help you now.
With that, Liam burst into one more magnificent dance move, and then collapsed onto the floor. Jack tried to shake him awake, to no avail.
Hurry, you're running out of time.
Jack heroically slung Liam over one shoulder, and rushed as fast as his little legs could carry him. Eventually, he found himself on the doorstep of one Mr. Mark Dawes.
Fuck. Zac Efronitis again.
Jack nodded solemnly.
Why bother? Liam is a 3-star friend. He's not worth me using my magic.
Please, Mark. Please,
A lump forms in Jack's throat.
I need his help.
Don't worry, man. I got this.
Quick as a flash, Mark leant over Liam and placed a light, gentle kiss upon his lips. Liam's eyes shot open and darted around frantically. What happened?
You thought you were Zac Efron again. Probably tried to get stuck into an orgy, I'd wager.
I saved you.
Thanks, pal. I'm real sorry. Last thing I remember was hearing your voice message, and next thing I know, here I am.
You don't remember the orgy?
There was an orgy? Where?
Neverwhere. Liam, can you help me find out where to meet the one? We've got to figure out the 4 beeps.
At this, Mark's ears pricked up.
Did I hear you were looking for the one?
Yeah, she left a message. Here, let me get it.
No! Don't play it!
What? Why?
It's a trap! It was a message which tricked Liam into thinking he was Zac Efron. I don't even want to think what it might do to me with my magic healing powers.
Good point.
Liam sat silently, deep in thought. Jack looked at Liam with worry.
He'll be alright. He just needs human interaction.
With a great sigh, Jack sat by Liam and put an arm over his shoulders.
You alright?
Liam slowly began to speak. Jack, when you said we got to figure out the 4 beeps, what did you mean?
The voice message had critical information obscured by beeps. Don't you remember?
Liam looked Jack dead in the eye. I remember. In the orgy. I heard the one. I heard her clear and... without a beep. Realisation slowly dawned on Jack.
Wait a second. Does that mean...
I know where she wants to meet you. The terrific twosome waved goodbye to Mark and rushed with reckless abandon to the dungeon, but found their way barred by a rather angry-looking dwarf. Grrr! Who goes there?
Make way, for it is I, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood, and in this episode, we'll be going inside this here dungeon of yours, thank you. Jack Kempster? Liam Underwood? What kind of names are those? I spit on you! And with that, the dwarf did indeed do a big spit, but he missed and it fell to the ground.
Well then, what's your name?
Me? Well, my name is... Carlos. Liam felt his stomach drop.
No, that can't be right.
You what?
You can't be called Carlos.
I am, and I own this here dungeon. Now be gone before I get violent.
I'm sorry, but you can't be a dwarf called Carlos.
Carlos was growing visibly enraged. And why? Pray tell. Can I not be called Carlos?
That's a stupid name for a dwarf.
Are you calling me mother stupid? I'll have you know she was Whoa there! I don't think he was insulting your mother. I think what Jack was trying to say is that Carlos doesn't sound like the name of someone who owns a dungeon. It sounds too... fantastical. Now you listen here, you little shits. I am the dungeon master in real life, and if you want to get past me, you gotta do something for me. Jack rolls his eyes. Carlos shows him nothing but contempt. Fine, what we got to do? Carlos turns his full attention to Liam. Remove your blanket, boy. Let me see what you got. Liam shrugged his blanket off and stood in front of Carlos. I see, now. Carlos licks his lips. Take off your jeans. Really? You want to get in? You gotta prove your worth. Reluctantly, Liam slips his shoes off and wiggles his jeans down, and stands before Carlos in his boxers and his socks. It's cold. Tell me, laddie, can you fight? Well, no, not really. Excellent. Bring me bubbles. The old wooden door behind Carlos slowly creaks open, and there stands the most hideous sight Liam has ever seen. It is a fishman, completely naked and grasping a spear. Here, take my axe. I think you'll need it. He chuckles to himself, and then declares, Liam and the Spartan fish. Only one may win. The other will not be going to an empty bed tonight. Jack and Liam share a worried glance. Suddenly, with much force, the fishman strikes. Liam luckily manages to roll out of the way. He mostly just slipped in his socks, but he manages to style it out. With a great display of strength, he swings the axe, epically missing the fishman, but sinking it deep into Carlos's skull. The fishman's eyes bulge wide. You killed him! My saviour! The fishman drops his spear and embraces Liam, and then scoops up Liam's jeans from the floor. I take these, yes? Proof of what happened here. I'd rather, keep them. No, mine. And with that, the fishman ran away. Well, that's just great.
You need clothes.
Yep.
I'm uncomfortable continuing until you find clothes.
Liam looks at the still body of Carlos and has an idea. What may have been trousers to the dwarf now look like hot pants on Liam, but it's the best he can do.
I preferred it when you were in just your boxers.
Tough. Let us push on. The dungeon is dimly lit, which is not great for Liam, as he struggles to see in low light, but he's aware his friend needs him, so he continues forward. So, Jack, have you thought about what you'll do when you meet the one?
Well, you see, I think maybe I'll kiss her, I think, and
Jack stutters and stammers and gets in a muddle. Just a kiss? How about some adventures in the bedroom?
Well, sure, if that's what she wants.
Deeper and deeper they go into the dungeon, when all of a sudden they hear a cry for help.
It's her. It's the one.
Without another thought, Jack rushes into the darkness, quickly followed by Liam. Eventually, they emerge in a large cavern, walls adorned with flaming torches. There, tied up, is the one. She is beautiful. "Help me, quick, before he returns!" But it's too late. Already a large shadow is dancing over the wall, looming larger as a dark figure grows closer. The cavern erupts in golden light, and there before Jack stands something clad in white with a large hat.
No, it can't be.
Yes, it is I.
But I killed you.
The figure chuckles menacingly.
Killed me? Ha! You can't kill the Archbishop of Banterbury.
The one howls in fear. Jack looks to Liam, and Liam gives a nod. They know what time it is. They bump fists and simultaneously say, "Nerd on nerd, activate!" With that, Liam leaps onto Jack's back as Jack charges the Archbishop of Banterbury. Clearly, he was not expecting such a bold move, and they manage to catch him by surprise. Liam kicks the Archbishop in the face, and he cries out in pain.
Ah! I'll get you for this!
In retaliation, the Archbishop swings his mighty bishop stick at Liam, knocking him from Jack's back. Liam crashes to the floor. Jack stands upright and snarls.
You don't fuck with nerd on nerd.
In a frenzy, Jack rushes towards the Archbishop, but he's not fast enough. The Archbishop strikes hard and fast, punching Jack in the balls. Jack falls to his knees and vomits, certain at least one testicle is crushed.
Ha! 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 You can't defeat me. The one is mine, and now you will be too.
The Archbishop peels off his bishop cloak and stands before Jack, naked and surprisingly hairless.
Good. You are kneeling before me. Now,
The Archbishop turns around.
show some respect and kiss my ring.
Never.
Fueled by the rage of 1,000 arguments, Jack balls his hand into a fist and punches the Archbishop with a fury never before seen in this world. His fist penetrates and then keeps travelling forward as Jack sinks deeper and deeper into the Archbishop. The Archbishop's eyes bulge as he understands he has been defeated. His mouth opens to protest, but only a gurgle falls out, quickly followed by Jack's clenched fist. Skewered on his arm like a disgusting kebab, life escapes the Archbishop and he goes limp. Jack removes his arm and collapses on the floor, his testicle hurting. Liam calls over.
Help me.
I'm not a doctor. I am! Untie me! Liam rushes over to the one and unties her. Thank you, Liam. She gives him a quick peck on the cheek and then runs to Jack's aid. Here, drink this! With a wave of a magical hand, she conjures a steaming hot potion.
I hate hot drinks.
Me too. Oh. The one waves her magical hand again, and the potion is suddenly icy cool. Jack gulps it down, and before he knows it, his testicle is restored to its former glory. No, it feels even better than ever. All of Jack tingles.
Thank you.
Jack climbs to his feet, but the one pounces on him and kisses his face all over. My hero!
Wait a second.
Jack clears his throat.
Jack's got stuff he wants to say. Everyone stop and listen.
Liam looks at Jack as the one stops kissing his face.
I have travelled a great deal today and seen many things, but I wouldn't be here without you.
Jack looks at Liam.
You, my friend, helped me. Words cannot express my feelings. We joined forces and proved that we were stronger together. We activated the power of Nerd on Nerd, and I think it's safe to say we lived up to our name. You are so beautiful to me. We did it, didn't we? It maybe took us a year, but look where we are now. We did it, and we did it together, as a team, with mutual appreciation. And now, I got the girl. You got your fleshlight. Come, let us celebrate right here and right now.
Jack begins removing his clothes, much to the one's delight. Liam, quite uncomfortable at this, begins to leave. As he exits, he hears, My, how big!
I am not ashamed of my body.
Damn right too! Now remember, the safe word is banana. Start with just the tip. As Liam leaves the dungeon, he counts quietly to himself. There are soft moans coming from the chamber. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. The moans begin to grow louder. 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. The one screams out in joy. 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. The screams grow louder and faster. 10 seconds, 11 seconds. Ooh, banana, 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 banana. The end. Question mark. So, that was Jack and Liam's sexy story. Part 1, a sexy story by Liam.
Very good, Liam.
Now it's time for critiques.
That was super good. I don't know what I can critique. It was really good.
Do you see why it had to be lengthier than we wanted?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Cool. The thing is, I tried to fit in every episode title I could,
I noticed.
but a couple aren't in there.
Ooh,
So-
it's a bonus. Which ones were missing?
Exactly. If you think you know the answer, let us know.
I'm very impressed, Liam. You did a good job. You don't know how much that pains me to say.
That wasn't too sexy for you, was it?
No, that was fine.
Okay, good. Because I know, there was a lot of discussion. You didn't want to... you didn't want to be in it, and you didn't want to have weird sex stuff happen in it, and...
Well, I did end up fisting an archbishop, so...
That wasn't sex, though.
No. True.
I mean, and he was evil, so you did a good thing there.
That's true. That's true, Liam.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
Stop milking it.
No, as long as you enjoyed it, that's all that matters.
I did. It made me chuckle. It made me laugh.
Perfect.
It sort of puts my one to shame now.
Will I react with equal mirth?
No, probably not. So, that was your one, Liam. That was very impressive. You've sort of blown mine out of the water.
Okay, well, that wasn't my intention.
No, you did it.
It just shows how much I care about the show and having a good episode, I think.
It does, that's true. Now, so listeners, if you enjoyed that, or if you want to let us know how Liam's sexy story...
How it made you feel.
Yep. Let us know. I haven't titled mine.
Okay, so untitled.
So, this one's an untitled piece of work by Jack Kempster. It's also not a script. I didn't do a script, I did a story.
So there's no parts for me, I just have to sit and listen.
You're in it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you will have to sit and listen.
Oh, that's fine.
If you can deal with that.
I can definitely try.
I'm also going to do maybe less voices than you did.
Okay.
This is Untitled by Jack Kempster. Mr. Kempster, I have Zac Efron on the line. Should I patch him through to your office? Sasha's voice said over the intercom. No, Sasha. Tell him I'm in a meeting, I replied, throwing a piece of scrunched up paper towards the hoop positioned over my bin. He probably wants to invite us to another party, I said, turning to Liam. Doesn't he have any other friends? Oh, come on, Jack. A party with Zeph Dog? That sounds exactly like the kind of wacky hijinks which could end in some sort of erotic situation which would make for the perfect premise for this erotic fanfic, my co-host said from his slightly smaller desk in the corner. Liam, how many times do I have to tell you I don't want to be stuck in some boring, mundane, erotic novella? I chanced to look out of the corner of my eye to see how impressed he was with my use of the word novella. The frown indicated not much. Dude, what could be better? Now that we're a £1 trillion empire and the #1 rated comedy podcast in the world, what's left to us but to explore sexual fiction? I snorted and poured a glass of pure golden Dr. Pepper into my champagne glass. You know that this story is going to end in sex, right? You're going to try so hard not to get there, then right at the end, boom, sex. No sooner had the words left his lips than the intercom buzzed again. Mr. Kempster, there's a distressed woman in reception saying only Kempster and Underwood investigations can solve her husband's murder. Liam smirked. See, told you. I fucking knew we should never have started a private investigation business on the side, I angrily muttered. Fine, Sasha. Send her in. Moments later, the beautiful young widow entered. I rolled my eyes as I took in the long black dress, the cigarette in one hand in one of those stupid holders, and the legs up to here. She sat down at my desk, crossing her legs in a seductive manner. Mr. Kempster, you're the only one who can solve my husband's murder. Her voice sounded exactly like the sound of church bells on a rainy day. I picked up my phone and dialed in a number. Yes, Sergeant, it's Jack here. Yep, I'm in the office. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, sexy lady with the whole solve my husband's murder shtick. Obviously there's meant to be some scene where we make love, then at the end I find out she's the killer. Yeah, send a couple of officers down here. She'll be waiting in reception. Liam shook his head in disapproval. Oh, come on, mate, it was obvious, right? Yeah, but you don't have to be a spoilsport about it. What? Said the lady. Oh, sorry, forgot you were there. Yeah, if you don't mind waiting in reception and maybe next time do something less noir. Right. Okay, said the lady, getting up and leaving. I turned to the small crab on my desk and started tying its bow tie. No one wants to hear some shit about us sitting in this incredible office, dressing up a crab for a dinner party that may or may not be part of the overarching narrative, Liam moaned, kicking his diamond bin over. People want to hear sexy stories about sexy people. Liam, if you want to go and get in a sexy side story, you're more than welcome. I need to get Mr. Crabbington ready. He hasn't even prepared a speech yet. I laughed in a what can you do kind of way. The intercom buzzed. Sasha, I swear to God, if this isn't about Mr. Crabbington's very important dinner, I'm going to flip out. Apologies, Mr. Kempster, said a heavily accented voice. I believe you and your sidekick, Liam immediately scowled, are going to need to make alternate evening plans. Your secretary Sasha is currently being driven to a secret location. If you don't pay us £1 billion, we will execute her. It's another plot hook, I whispered to Liam. I rescue her, then in gratitude she falls into my arms. Oh, you have until midnight, gentlemen, the intercom cut off. Ugh, fine, I said, grudgingly getting out of my synthetic eel-skin chair. Grab your gear, Liam. I guess we're doing an action story. Finally, Liam shouted, fist-punching the air. Jarvis, our chauffeur, drove us straight to the biggest abandoned warehouse in the city. Couldn't we have done some, investigations or something? Liam whined from the back seat. I mean, yes, obviously the very generic Russian villains took her here, but it kind of defeats the point if we just skip all the story. See the shit I have to put up with? I asked Mr. Crabbington, chuckling at the jaunty angle he had his top hat on. Stop trying to get the crab into the fucking story, Liam yelled. I quickly covered Mr. Crabbington's ear holes and shot a filthy look at my co-host. I'm going to pretend you didn't insult him, and assume that it's just you being stressed. Now let's go save the secretary. ... I pushed open the door to the luxurious office hidden deep in the warehouse. Oh, for fuck's sake, Jack, we just skipped all the cool action scenes. I'm sure they were very cool, Liam, but I can't waste words describing gunfights. I need to fit Mr. Crabbington's dinner in here, and honestly, I don't care about shootouts. I gently wiped some blood off of Mr. Crabbington's monocle. Fine, whatever, just please go and get to the sex scene. I turned into the room I opened a few lines ago, and took a sharp breath. My eyes took in the scene, but my brain couldn't process it. No, it can't be, I whispered. Oh, for fuck's sake, Liam said from behind me as he leant over my shoulder and saw. I'll be waiting in the fucking car, he said, storming off. Mr. Kempster, we knew you would come, the obvious Russian henchman said from next to the ornate chair at the desk. And you brought your sidekick, Mr. Crabbington. I'm not even the sidekick, or whatever, I heard Liam yell from the hallway. I should have seen this coming, I said, locking eyes with the person sitting in the chair. Mrs. Crabbington, you were a traitor the whole time. Mrs. Crabbington blew some bubbles out of her mouth. Don't you dare try to convince us this was for the greater good, I screamed at her. Mr. Crabbington loved you. Mr. Crabbington also blew some bubbles. How could you betray us like this? I went for my gun, but the Russian henchman was a hair faster. As his shot fired, I squeezed the trigger. I dropped to the floor. I saw a tiny shape dive from my top pocket. In adrenaline-fueled slow motion I saw, as Mr. Crabbington dove into the path of the bullet. The henchman's head disintegrated as my bullet tore through him, and the bullet meant for me collided with my best crab friend. I slowly stood up and pointed my gun at Mrs. Crabbington. Do you see what you've done? You'll rot in jail for this. He was a good crab. A single tear rolled down my cheek. A day later I stood in the rain, Liam and Sasha on either side of me. I watched as the Viking longboat drifted out to sea, and once it was far enough out, I lit the arrow and drew back the bow. I let it fly and watched as the burning dot flew out and hit the ship. You earned your place in Valhalla, my brother, I said as the flames consumed the ship. Sasha attempted to hold my arm, but I pushed her away gently. No, Sasha, I can never love again, I said, turning and walking into the grey rain. This story is shit, I heard Liam say from behind me. The end.
Wow. That was an emotional roller coaster.
I know.
I mean, I didn't think I'd be so invested in Mr. Covington.
He's my favourite character in the story.
Yeah, understandably so. I feel like we need a mascot.
Exactly, and I think Mr. Crabbington could be that.
I have some questions.
Go on, Liam.
Maybe critiques, if you will.
Okay.
Where was the eroticism?
There was a sexy crab blowing bubbles at another sexy crab.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I did, Liam, was I wrote an erotic fan fiction, but with the premise that your character, Liam, wanted it to be a sexy fan fiction.
Yeah, I understood
and my character,
I appreciate
Jack, didn't do that.
Yeah, I understood and appreciate the kind of the meta-ness of it all. But I just, like, my only critique is I feel like there was some sex missing.
I don't know. I think that was sexy.
Okay. Well, maybe our listeners could tweet us and let us know, one, which story they liked the best.
Well, it's yours. Yours is the best story.
And two, no, that might not be true.
Mine's like a more meta-narrative.
Yeah, and I think people would appreciate that. So I think the second question they should answer is, which story did they find the most arousing? because that's the one I think I've got in the bag.
Well, I don't know. Mrs. Crabbington was quite the character.
She was a crab, though, right?
So?
I mean, I don't know if I missed it, but did you kind of explain how she looked at all?
She's a crab, Liam. They all look pretty similar.
I mean, what's the difference between a male crab and a female crab?
Mr. Crabbington had a top hat, a monocle, and a small bow tie.
And what did Mrs. Crabbington have?
I imagine she wore a pearl necklace and a small red dress.
Now, these are facts that I feel like would have benefited the story.
Well, the Mr. Crabbington facts were in there. Mrs. Crabbington, I admit, I underplayed her character slightly towards the end. I was rushed for words.
I wasn't sure if it was like the sort of situation where you do like a brief template so the like reader, or in this case listener, could project their like ideal crab woman onto it.
Exactly. Well, that's part of it, Liam.
Okay. But yeah, I did like how meta it was.
Yeah, it was more that than anything else.
And I did like the different genres we sort of went through.
There were going to be more, but I was trying to keep mine under 1,500 words. And
see, that was a limit that I...
Yes, that you threw out the window. I'm glad you did, because you got a good story out of it.
Exactly. I didn't want to be shackled by such limitations.
Yes.
But guess what, Jack?
Go on, Liam.
You've had fun listening to my story, and I've had fun listening to your story, but we've had a couple of listeners send in their own stories. Now...
That's true, we have.
For Mr. Mark Dawes, who might be listening, you wanted fan fiction. This is fan fiction. Do you want to read Tom's and I'll read Amanda's?
Yeah, I think we should do Amanda's first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, our first submitted fan fiction, submitted by Amanda, who we discussed last week, going through all of the shows for some reason.
Yep. It's admirable.
It's definitely, that is a good word to use. First, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to submitting this. I will be reading it. Doesn't have a title, but let's see how it goes. Jack begins driving to Portsmouth in his new car. Thanks to his lessons, he feels secure, but as he gets closer to Liam's house, he can't help but think about Liam's warnings about his GPS screen. Maybe Liam really does care. When Jack arrives for the barbecue, no one else is there yet. He knocks on the door and is shocked to hear the sounds of Attack on Titan coming from inside. Liam comes to the door and shyly ushers Jack inside. There are candles on every surface, creating a magical setting, though also possibly a fire hazard. "What is all this, Liam?" asks Jack. "It's our anniversary, Jack, and I wanted you to finally know how I feel. I know I give you a hard time, but it's because I love you, and I want you to know that we're all in this together." "Stop putting me on. You're just trying to make a High School Musical reference." "No, Jack, it's true. This is all for you. You and my Zac Efron." Liam approaches Jack and tenderly takes Jack's bearded face in his hands. "Let's do this. Why do you think I've been getting all those naughty comics?" Jack is taken aback at first as they kiss, but gives in as the kiss deepens. They begin to undress each other as the gentle kiss becomes something more. Suddenly there's a noise at the door and Kat walks in. "Yeah, I figured this would happen eventually," sighs Kat. Announcer voice. "Cliffhanger! Tune in next time to see what happens with our heroes." And that's where it ends.
How thrilling.
What did you think of that then, Jack?
It was good.
Probably the most erotic story so far.
I think Amanda wins on the erotic story part. Well, yours had an orgy in it.
That's true, but...
Amanda wins on the erotic story being about us.
Yes. The thing that I think I've liked the most about all of these stories so far is how Zac Efron has had a part.
Yeah, he's been in all 3 stories.
Which I'm a huge fan of.
You would be.
And I like that Amanda has put quite a lot of references to our episodes in there.
Yeah.
So for those other dedicated listeners, hopefully you've spotted them. I have to say, I'm super impressed. And I, for one, can't wait to find out what happens next.
Oh, God.
I just hope we don't have to wait a year for the next one.
Yeah, that's true.
But wow. That's just wow. What do you have to say? Any extra you want to say to that?
I'm sort of in a stunned silence.
We've had another one, haven't we?
We have had another. Friend of the show, Tom Hogan. He's done art for us. He's our artiste extraordinaire. He has sent us in a story. Now, we've not read this, but we have seen the subject line, which says, original story, 100% not off of an online generator, which I'll admit makes me slightly suspicious.
I'm excited to see what this original story is.
Same. I will be reading it. Your narrator will be Jack. A Chilling Day to Pound by Tom H. Jack stepped moistly out into the shit sunshine and admired Liam's nostril. Ah, he sighed. That's a erotic sight. Liam climbed off the microphone and walked violently across the grass to greet his lover. Jack patted Liam on the penis and then tried to pound him abruptly, but without success. That's all right, Liam said. We can try again later. I'm just not horny, Jack said. Not as horny as the time we pounded on the desk. Liam nodded damply. We were bland back in those days. Our ears were younger, and we had a lot more fun with them, Jack said. Everything seems bad and awful when you're young. Of course, Liam said. But now we're less lame. We can still have fun if we go about it loudly. Loudly? Jack said. But how? With this, Liam said, and held out a crappy headphone. Just take that with some water and in half an hour you'll be ready to pound. Jack swallowed the headphone at once, and sure enough, in half an hour they were able to pound loudly. They pounded with passion, like a man who loves his podcasting co-host, 3 times. And then the neighbour told them to get off his lawn.
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
That was a struggle to read.
Now, this is the sort of erotic fan fiction that I've been waiting for. Because I feel like, with mine, I definitely had to tone down the sex because of your warnings, and with yours, there was none, and I feel like
Amanda's was a romance story.
Yes, it was a romance, there was eroticism to it. This was just pure filth.
Tom's is pure filth. This is pure pounding, loud pounding.
Yeah, there's sexy ears.
That might be my favourite line.
Yeah, our ears were
Our
younger.
ears were younger.
And we had a lot more fun with them.
I don't know what that means.
No.
Everything seems bad and awful when you're young.
So,
also,
okay.
also, Jack patted Liam on the penis.
There's just one bit I'm confused about. Okay?
Yeah.
So, Liam climbs off the microphone and walks across the grass to greet his lover.
Yeah.
Jack pats Liam on the penis, and then Jack tries to pound him abruptly, but without success. So Liam says that's alright, we can try again later. At which point Jack says, I'm just not horny.
Yeah.
So, why is Jack patting Liam on the penis and trying to pound him abruptly if he's not horny?
Well, he's not. It's not that he's not horny, Liam, because the next line, not as horny as the time we pounded on the desk. I think Jack in this story is still horny.
Right, just not
He's
horny
just
enough.
not as horny as the time they pounded on the desk.
So I wonder what it was that meant that that pounding failed.
Yeah, I guess. How do you pound without success?
Like, could you not get it up?
Well, exactly, yeah, because then I swallow a microphone and in half an hour we were ready to pound.
Right.
Loudly.
So this is a story about how you have erection problems.
Yes, it sounds like it's a template story, which has had some words switched in instead of normal ones.
I feel like it would be difficult to guess what those words were.
Well, Jack stepped moistly.
Yeah.
I think moistly might not have meant to be there.
Yeah. I mean, walking violently across the grass.
Yeah. Jack patted... Why? That's an interesting one. Tom, let us know how you generated this story, because I'm genuinely interested.
Well, it says it's not off of an online generator, it's an original story, so I'm assuming
That's true,
he
I'm
just
sorry.
wrote it all.
I'm an idiot. My bad,
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, exactly. In which case, I just wish there was another part coming.
5 out of 5. And 5 out of 5 for Amanda's, and 5 out of 5 for yours, Liam.
And 5 out of 5 for yours, Jack.
I think that was just a sympathy one, but sure.
Yeah, sure. I didn't want you to feel left out.
4.5 out of 5 for mine.
So now, right, I have to ask the most important question of the show. How do you think erotic fan fiction went?
Better than it could have.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do.
What am I trying to do?
You're seeking for, like, me to say, oh, good job, Liam.
You're
You're desperate for my approval.
Just want you to say, not as bad of an idea as you thought it was going to be.
Alright, okay, fair enough, I'll say it. It's not your usual shit show, Liam.
Thank you.
No problem. Oh, Jesus. Well, I think that's probably all we've got time for, listeners, because this episode's going to have been a long one for you.
Yeah, we do have one last thing to address. What are we doing next time?
Next time, we will be doing a film that Liam loves, but that I have never seen. A little film called Stand By Me.
I mean, it's not a little film. It's quite well known.
Yeah.
It's not like one of those little kind of independent films. It's not like a mumblecore.
No. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch it.
Well, you might have to one day.
Oh, God. But yeah, so we'll be doing Stand By Me.
Yeah. You excited?
I am, yeah. It's one of those films that I've been meaning to do for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favourite films of all time. It's probably in my top 5, probably top 3. Top 3.
Fair
so,
enough. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like it, it could spell troubles.
Well,
any future erotic fan fiction will just be us having a sexy falling out.
I'd like to read that.
You heard it here first.
Jesus. Anyway, if you want to get in contact with us and let us know how you felt about the erotic fan fiction episode,
how aroused were you?
Let us know. If you want to write some erotic fan fiction, I'm sure we won't say no.
I won't.
So the best way to get that to us is, to email it to nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or if you want to just let us know how it went, tweet us at nerdonnerd.
Yeah.
You can also, if you liked it, give us an iTunes rating. We'd like them.
Yeah, we love them.
And if you want to watch some of our stuff, if you want to watch me and Liam discuss the rules for this episode,
or
you can
if you want to watch us go around Shocktoberfest,
or you want to get our raw reactions to Shocktoberfest, you can go to our YouTube channel. And to get there, Liam, what do they type in?
Just type in Nerd on Nerd Fleshlight. That should get you there, right?
I hope so.
Hopefully. The other thing, if you didn't want to faff around with that and you're listening on SoundCloud, I've updated our SoundCloud profile so there's links to our Twitter, our YouTube, and also something that we very rarely talk about, our Facebook page.
Oh, that's true, yeah, we do have a Facebook page.
Yep, so go give that a like. There's ways for you to get hold of us. If you want to get hold of us and let us know all these things, it's easy. We've made it easy for you. Apart from YouTube, it's a bit of a ball ache.
But we just need you to subscribe and then it won't be a ball ache.
Yeah, I think we just have to get 20 subscribers, which is just double the amount we have, and then we can get our own little custom URL. Lovely.
Yeah.
Also, I just have one question. If any of you have, either during this episode or during a previous episode, masturbated while listening, we would love to know about that.
I knew you were going to say that.
Bye.
Bye.